Welcome to the round one. Wait, hold up. Where's Braedon?
Good evening, infidels.
This wasn't scripted.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
None of this is scripted. Go
Welcome.
ahead, Braedon.
Hi, I'm Braedon, and welcome to the Round One podcast. Woo!
Yeah.
This is my new best friend. It's Mini Jason. I got you, Miles. You ready? This is a picture moment.
That's the thumbnail.
That's
Alright.
the thumbnail.
God.
Yes.
Okay, Braedon, as you guys know, it is the round one podcast. As you can tell, it's kind of a weird theme for this episode.
Halloween was a month ago.
Halloween was a month ago, yes.
I like how he just.
But this is for a horror movie themed episode, not just a horror, like a Halloween episode.
Even though some of us did dress up, and Miles has a special gift he might use later.
Oh yeah, I might.
What gift? We'll never know. It'll be a surprise. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you might want to go to YouTube and see what's happening.
Yes.
Yes.
Come on, man.
All right.
Okay, today, if Braedon wants to take over.
Well, I was just gonna say. Well, starting off, so we've gotten pretty close to 50 followers on Facebook. So you guys are really gonna keep us accountable for our hair dyeing agreement. So if you have about like 2 weeks left still.
Oh well, what we had said in the last podcast, we had 3 weeks, and that was last week was a week, but we had bumped it up to the end of the season, mainly because of the fact that it's easier for you guys because there's only like 4 episodes left, 3 after this one, so you guys should have almost a month. So come on, guys, you guys have almost a month. You guys can get us to 50 subscribers, and hopefully by the time season 2 starts, we will have dyed hair. That's
Yep.
hopefully.
And mine might be pink.
Yeah, you guys can choose the colors. So we'll put a poll up on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you guys follow us at, and you guys will choose the color. We'll like, which color do you want for insert name here? Pink, red, like all the colors that you can think of, and then you submit it in, and then we'll count the
But
votes
don't
up.
do the generic colors like blonde and redhead and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you got to do like full up. I want it black. Or not black. That's
No.
generic. Change my statement. I want it gray.
I want it
Look like
magenta.
I want it magenta.
I want my hair.
I want it cyan.
Okay, let's just say this. We've all, me and Dylan have at least had bad hair dyeing mishaps. If you know me from 7th grade, you definitely seen that green hair incident.
The green hair.
don't talk about
So
that.
yeah, my favorite color. If you could choose a color? What would you guys choose?
And why?
And why? Yeah.
My original color, pink, because I can rock it.
No.
You good?
Black, because that's the color of my
Yeah.
soul. No, I'm kidding.
Um,
It'd be kind of fun to dye my hair like every color, but not in a gay way.
I'd probably go blue, mainly because that's my favorite color. Yeah.
I'd go pink because I want to look like Drake from the one episode of Drake and Josh where they all had to dye their hair because they lost that bet. Yeah.
I think yours will be permanent.
What?
Yeah, remember that episode?
Yeah, you don't remember?
He
So-
takes off like the hair and he's like.
Never
It's like a
watched-
wig. It's a pink wig that he wears, and like his whole family got tricked into fully dyeing their hair, and he's the smart one. He's like, I'm just gonna get a wig and call it.
Never watched Drake and Josh show.
You're the most uncultured Gen Z kid I know.
Oh my gosh. Oh well, I'm just gonna head out.
I'm ahead.
Fall over.
Oh, we also have a new dog for this episode.
Yeah.
His name is Sparky.
His name's Ricardo.
We all have different nicknames for him. He'll answer to 95% of them. No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You were on that floor for like, you could probably hear you grabbing for your hat.
Shh, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's not wearing a hat.
I'm not wearing a hat. This is my hair.
Yeah, that's
All right. Before we continue, we want to do something special for a special member. As you can see, there are 2 awards up here, and you might be thinking, well, who are they for? We can't read the names.
Obviously.
What's the title of the movie?
I'm
Well,
illiterate.
me and Miles, since we're in an advanced film class, we have to enter like a short, scary film into the
Back behind Braedon.
right behind my luscious hair. We have to enter a short film for a film fest, right? And I think this year is the first year since we've been in the class that someone's won. And Miles ended up winning 2 awards for his film, The Ghost of Room 157.
The scariest part about this, ironically, is that I didn't kill anybody in my movie.
I remember filming that too.
It was
that's
3 in
a
the
whole
morning.
Story. Yeah, we did.
We're gonna have to bring everybody who went to Riverton
to do
into
that.
a podcast and then explain the story.
But he got best cinematography and best art direction, and we just wanted to thank you and congratulate you.
I also got $50 out of it, so
Yeah, really?
Mhm.
Really?
every award you get $25.
You know what we should do? Get that My Hero Academia.
I actually wanted to make a superhero movie for the one in the spring.
Sorry about that. That'd be so funny if it picked it up. It just
Superhero movie. ASMR channel. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about our. We know. Today we're gonna be talking about our favorite horror movies and the ones we didn't like so much. So should we do a top 5 list or top 10 list? 'Cause
top
last
5 list and why?
well, because last time we did top 5 list, that didn't take as long as we thought it would. It was when
So-
Brandon was first on the episode, and this is
Yeah.
like the first time he's been back since then.
Yeah.
I like how every time we do a list, Brandon's on that episode.
And I can't think of anything to say.
I think we should do like just our all-time favorite scary
Yeah.
movie and just deep description on why and what we liked about it, and then we'll go through and then we'll go back through with our least favorite.
Alright, who's starting?
Should we start at that end, or should we start on this end? last?
Rock, paper, scissors, Dylan and Brandon, go.
I don't want to do it. You can
Nope,
start.
you got to rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors. It's
Okay.
rules.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors.
One
guys.
round.
Okay, 1.
So,
I'm gonna watch on the TV screen.
do you want to go rock, paper, scissors,
Shoot.
shoot?
Yeah.
Okay,
Intense, man.
shoot.
Sit back.
Coming out for that.
Sit back.
Okay.
Jeez, this chair.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
Oh, you gotta go first.
Okay.
I thought winner had to go.
I probably just like shattered our audio from yelling. I'm sorry.
So,
He'll put, like, a-
top movie?
Yep, all-time favorite horror movie.
We have to give a description of why.
Yes.
My all-time favorite movie will have to be Saw, because of the way that the traps are set up in it. It's like kind of cool how they did it, because in one of the movies, if you haven't seen it, spoiler ahead.
Dude, it's been
Yeah,
months.
spoiler ahead
Yeah.
for these movies. Just
Yeah.
Except for it's the newest one.
Yeah.
That was just a couple years ago.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen a movie that's been like that old, like
Yeah.
2
you might
to
want to
3
go
years
movie
old,
watching.
yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. Either a spoiler or you just don't watch this episode, but you're probably gonna watch it anyway.
But in one of the movies, they had a jar full of acid, and then the key was in the bottom of the jar, and this one gal was strapped to a chair. She literally had to dunk her hand in the acid and get
Oh, I
the key
remember
out.
this. Yeah.
Wait,
that's
she
right.
had to dunk her hand in it.
Mhm.
Was it like a glass jar that
Yeah,
you couldn't
like
tip
a-
over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
That's pretty sweet.
not bolted into place, but
Oh, so she couldn't like break the glass.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wouldn't that be easier though?
If she could, but she couldn't.
Yeah, her hands are like this, like
But she still could able to reach her hand in.
yeah. She went like this and could barely reach it. So,
But you
she,
can punch the glass. I'd rather.
Yeah, but if you punch it, she's like hanging. So
Yeah,
like she
no.
can't like reach down on the floor and pick the key up if it falls. If it falls, it's a done.
Just knock yourself over out of the chair.
But yeah.
Also, in another one, there were these people strapped to a wall with buckets over their heads,
Oh
and
yeah.
then in the wall were like saw blades, and then they got pulled towards the saw blades, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and like in order to survive it, they had to like cut some part of
Yeah.
themselves, like just a little bit, and then let him go. Yeah, and one interesting thing about like the old original Saws, the directors were straight out of film school, and they only
Yeah.
had enough money for that one room to film it. And I think I heard this from someone the other day, and like Saw franchise is one of the most top grossing movies because they don't put a lot of money into it, but they get a
Yeah.
lot of money out of it. You know. Yeah.
Mainly, that's not. Well, a lot of the time, that's what happens. Like
Yeah.
you don't like with. I don't remember what movie this was, but it was like it had like a $35 million budget, then grossed over like $1 billion at the box office. So I'm thinking, if it's vice versa, you're screwed.
Yeah. You,
I saw that. I heard about that with The Big Lebowski. That's not a horror movie, but I think it's a pretty interesting thing. Is that at first it barely made enough to make back all the money. But nowadays, it's like one of the most iconic movies. I'm just gonna say that. The Big Lebowski was like Thor was based around him,
Yeah,
the dude.
the Bro Thor.
Yeah, Bro Thor.
Yeah, that's
Bro
what
Thor.
the official character in Endgame is called, Bro Thor. But yeah, Noah.
For me,
Wait, can I guess?
guess.
Oh, let me guess
Texas
too.
Chainsaw Massacre, 1974.
I know this.
That's my guess. Dylan.
The supernatural one.
That's so descriptive.
Hellraiser.
Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project.
It's actually a tie between those two.
Oh.
We just don't know it that well.
Yeah.
I remember watching the original one with you that one night.
For the Blair Witch Project, the reason why I think it's like my favorite is because just the the fear factor. You get stuck in the woods. It's terrifying, and then like there's all this weird stuff happening around you, and then weird noises you hear at night, and you're just camping out there, and you're terrified.
Because I mean, we've had that experience where we've been out.
We've
Like
been
you just
outside.
even out your house parked in our cars, we've heard random noises from like animals and stuff, and it's like even though we're in that suburban area, it's still like scary.
Yeah.
It's more terrifying than being in the city, but at the same time, it can be equal.
Yeah.
Because one time we were walking around hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys just came out of a bar, and like they were terrifying. Like it wasn't like scary. It was scary at the time, but I'm looking back on it now. I'm like, we could have walked. We could have walked like like the other direction.
You could have crossed the street.
We could have done anything else because like the way we were walking, we had parked, and they had come out the bar almost the exact same time as we did. Well, no, we didn't come out the bar, but as we were walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they just stared us down. Like I would look back at them, they were still staring at us by the time we had left. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, and those people were like, they weren't like little people, they were pretty big and like intimidating, These
They were
scary guys
bulky.
coming out of these big
Yeah,
bulky
they
guys
And
coming out of the
like,
bar.
and them being drunk, not knowing we were teenagers, that could have gone a very different way.
We really could have. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Y.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one from the 70s, I love that one personally. I think that the opening shot where like with the weird camera noises that are like screeching and like the flashes, that's just scary, and then like the thing, like the humanoid thing that's like on the gravestone, that's impaled on it, that's terrifying, and like there's just a lot of weird scenes where I feel uncomfortable, and like the movie's supposed to do that, and the fact that it's not realistic makes it even spookier,
Yeah. In the newer Texas Chainsaw movie, did you guys know that the actor who portrayed Bubba or Massacre, as if you guys
Massacre
don't know,
River.
yes, he was the grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Um,
the
newer
Texas Chainsaw
one.
3D or Leatherface. Because there's a movie
Wait.
called Leatherface that came like 2 years ago.
Whichever one is the newer one.
Yeah.
Leatherface.
Leatherface is the newer one. It was before.
Yeah.
It was
Long story short, they were related.
Yeah, so like so Leatherface from the 1970s played the grandpa in one of the newer movies.
And one thing that also adds to that scare factor from Texas Chainsaw is it's based off a real life event that happened.
A lot of these
group
movies, a lot of
cannibals
movies
and-
are.
Ed Gein.
Yeah.
What he did, oh
It's
my goodness
Crazy.
gracious.
It's hard to imagine that people can go out and do that, honestly.
It really is.
I have a question.
Yes.
In Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what do you think was the best part?
Ooh.
I
we
always like the final girl scenes in movies, where it's just that last chance to get out or be gone.
With the semi truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
That's
semi truck driver, and it's just she hops in the truck, and he literally gets right up to it, and they just barely make it. I love those parts of movies because it's like if you watch enough horror movies, they're gonna make it most of the time. You're just sitting there like, oh no, she might not make it. Oh no, it's gonna be close.
The suspense of it.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I think
It's thrilling.
this isn't my favorite horror movie, but when I first watched The Quiet Place, that's not really a horror movie in a sense, but it's a suspenseful thriller.
Mhm.
When I watched it and Lee screamed to save his kids, I'm like, oh, like I was thinking through the entire movie, he's gonna make it, he's gonna make it. He's like
and
the
then
dad
just
figure,
gone.
and he's like
Just murdered.
sacrifices. I was like, oh,
That
Screw
that
this.
moment made me cry. In all honesty, just Because if you put it into perspective, like if you're sitting there in a truck with your little siblings and you have no clue where your other parent is, and you're just looking at your dad and he's like trying to signal you it's gonna be okay, and then that just happens, it's like, just puts all that emotion into perspective, you know?
And when you're like, I don't remember, she wasn't deaf. I don't remember. There was something wrong with her ear. She couldn't hear well.
Mhm.
And she had to have like an implant in her ear, and her dad was trying to help her fix it.
Mhm.
So she knew what was gonna happen. Like she kind of figured what was gonna happen. She's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I could, if that actually happened to like anybody I knew, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, no.
Fun fact: the little girl from the movie, she's actually deaf.
And
So
she
they
actually
worked
helped
with a
you
real
sign.
deaf person, and yeah, it
I
was
think that was
really,
pretty
that's a
neat.
really cool way to film a movie.
Actually, have deaf people do that.
Miles?
Mine would probably be the original Nightmare on Elm Street. That's pretty generic answer. No, not the first one, the third one.
Yeah, there you go.
Dream Warriors was my favorite one, only due to the fact that it was a new concept to the movie. Because in the first one, you have Freddy being this very serious, but cracked one joke throughout probably at the entire movie. I'm like, that's a bit more terrifying. 2 went nothing off of the first movie besides being in the same house. That was it. And then going to the third one, you bring back Nancy and have these all kids that are like, kind of like shiners in their own way.
Yeah.
Like they're basically shine, but then the best, my favorite part about this movie was the guy being controlled like a puppet. When they
Yeah.
snapped him off and he made him fall off. That was the most terrifying and best scene in that movie.
I like his veins.
Oh my gosh.
I love Dream Warriors. I mean, it was probably the stupidest film out of all the Nightmare on
No,
Elm Street
the
ones.
stupidest
but
one was Freddy's Dead.
Yeah,
okay,
Freddy's Dead.
that's fair.
Horrible.
But I just loved how like comedic Nightmare on Elm Street the franchise got. Just it started focusing more and more on the comedy factor of it, and I think that personally makes movies like scary movies a little bit better.
But
Hat.
so, I'm not trying to say that this isn't a bad one, but it's really bad. Jason Takes Manhattan, or whatever.
Yes.
That was the worst
I forget
one.
you liked that movie.
I do like that movie.
I did not like Jason.
Out of
Jason
all of
Takes
the
Manhattan.
Friday the 13th movies, that's the one you like?
No, I love all of them. Are you kidding?
I think you're crazy
the
for
fourth
that.
one is the best.
The
Okay,
fifth
no.
one is terrible.
Is
The
that,
fifth
is
one's-
that New Blood?
Yeah, that's
That
the one
one's
where it
bad.
wasn't even
Dude,
Jason.
Fifth one's cool. I liked it.
No,
The
fifth
sixth one, sixth one's also
The sixth
bad.
one's all right. I like
The
the sixth one
Where
because they brought him
tele-
back.
They brought him back. That's the one with the telekinesis girl, correct?
No,
Which
no,
one's
that was
that's,
eight.
that's
That's
eight?
eight.
Okay. Wait. Well, because there's
No,
10 of them.
Seven-
Jason lives
seven
is
is the one with
six, and then Jason.
The
New
seventh
Blood
one is the one
seven.
with the psychic girl.
Anyway,
and the
we'll figure this
next
out
one.
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
But that was a decent one because I like movies that take a different approach and don't go based on the same thing.
Yeah.
My favorite one was Fried, like the original one with his mom.
Yeah, because it's that twist
Yeah.
factor where
Yeah.
they're focusing on this main character, like it's Jason, he came back, he's getting revenge, and then it's like no,
it's his mom.
it's
Yeah.
mom.
You
Also-
killed my boy.
Mommy's here.
Another bad one is Jason X.
That's
Okay, no,
that's
that
gotta
I
be
like
the
it.
worst one.
Where
That's
they-
gotta be
where
the
No,
worst.
that's not the worst one.
Space.
Manhattan is the worst one.
Okay.
X is a decent movie when it comes to like the aspect of it. The actor, like he gets nanobots and embedded in it
Oh, he
and
looked
becomes that.
Yeah.
Bad.
He looks bad, but the mask is the only thing that made him look bad. Everything
gonna
else
say-
looked kind of cool.
With that metal mask on him.
Oh, it just looks so weird.
Yeah.
And his like face surrounding it. Jason Goes to Hell was a decent movie only because of the way he looked. Like,
Yeah,
after he got
I
obliterated.
agree entirely. So is that my
Are we
turn?
gonna go based off of looks?
Yeah.
Okay, Braedon,
See what
what's yours?
happens. My favorite horror. See, this is a big thing for me because there's a 95% chance I've seen almost every horror movie out there because I don't really live a social life at this point.
None of us really do.
But
What?
Braedon, you don't have a social life. Let's face it.
I
Okay.
don't know though. My favorite horror movie out of like all time, everything, new, old, all of it, it would probably have to be something along the Conjuring lines because the Conjuring is like this
Never seen
newer. You call yourself a horror
Wait,
fan
does-
and you've never seen The Conjuring.
Does La Llorona count? Because it is in the Conjuring universe. Because it
Doesn't
has-
count as seeing The Conjuring
I've never seen the Conjuring.
You have to see like The Conjuring in
to
order
get
to
all
see.
that stuff to
Insidious
make sense.
is a pretty good movie. for
Insidious
that.
was
I
my
like
second.
Insidious.
Insidious, like 1 and 2 were good. 3 and The Last Key or whatever what it's called,
No.
those are bad. Like
But
like
it's-
once a movie gets past a certain point, like maybe a sequel. only a sequel, 2 movies, that's when it should end. Unless you reboot it, but we all know reboots suck.
Yeah, but
Scream reboot was amazing.
The Scream TV,
4?
the Scream. Okay,
I like the Scream TV show. I
The
thought
TV
that
show
TV
and
show
number
was
4
beautiful.
because
Number
number
4
4
wasn't a
was a
reboot.
Yeah,
it was
because
a
they,
sequel.
no, it
It was a
wasn't
direct-
because it was a reboot because even
They
the
brought
kids
back-
in it.
They brought back the main
Yeah,
characters.
it was a direct sequel because they continued the same storyline. If it was a reboot, they would have changed the main kids and the main
They would
characters
have
and stuff.
pretty
But they
much
kept like
loosely based it off the
uh,
exact same
yeah,
first movie.
it's a direct sequel.
But during all the Scream movies, they always nod at like in the first movie, it's a horror movie. Then in the sequel, they nodded at it's a sequel. In the fourth one, they nodded at it's a.
In the movie, they acknowledge it as a reboot, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's like if you look at the film and like all the aspects that say, all right, this is the difference between a reboot and a direct sequel, it'll show up as a direct
Yeah.
sequel.
Leave
That's
down
the
in
only-
the comments what you think.
Yeah.
Probably.
The sequel.
That's the only difference I feel like, because not all reboots are bad.
Yeah,
Like Leatherface was a prequel, but it's also a reboot.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World was it's a pretty good one, but the CGI is making it
Yeah.
it's not really that terrifying. With Jurassic Park, it was like, oh, they're actually real. Yeah, moving towards that, because I don't
Yeah,
want to
because I
kick
didn't want you
to
to break its ear.
kick her in the head.
Kick the baby. You know what that's from? Yeah. I'm so glad one of you understood that.
Oh
because
my god.
That is the funniest joke from
I don't
that
get
show.
it either.
You don't get it?
It's an inappropriate show that we've seen. It's called South Park. You might have heard of it.
Oh.
You know you.
I know exactly what it was from. They're waiting at the bus stop. Kick the baby.
Don't kick the baby. Kick the baby.
Oh my god.
Oh, South Park. That's a terrible show. But
Speaking of that,
It's not a terrible show. It's just very inappropriate.
yeah, terrible and inappropriate.
Yeah. But speaking of that, if you guys remember the TV show Dinosaurs,
Not the mama.
yeah, literally. There is this part where the dad says, what am I? The baby, Dad, say it again, Dad, yeah. Like,
And then he's
daddy,
like-
daddy, daddy, daddy,
And then
daddy,
he's like-
daddy,
and then he's like-
not the mama. Ah, duh.
And he he hits the dad with a spoon, and then he just grabs the baby and throws him out the
Yep.
window. I think he threw him at the window. I think for that episode he
I
did.
think
I
so.
thought he
It's-
chucked it.
Or he threw it
Chucked out the
somewhere.
wall.
He threw it.
It's great.
But, The Conjuring's my favorite because I think The Conjuring is is the first movie to really dive into like
Yeah.
that demonic and like
Well-
ghost spiritual stuff really well. I know it's not the first movie to ever do it, but I think they just went in perfectly with
Yeah.
it, and that's why I like The Exorcist too, because it's like the possession factor of it, and like The Conjuring. The movie I personally just enjoy so much because it has all these elements like from Poltergeist or like The Exorcist, and it pulls all these things together. And then what I like about it is it became its own MCU. They used this one movie and they were able to connect it to millions, doing like a group of people. And it's just, I like that personally a lot, and I just loved the way the storyline they built for The Conjuring. And I mean, it's also one of those based off of true stories, which
Yeah.
always sparked my interest more, but it's just, that's why I loved it personally.
Have you seen the second one?
Yeah.
The most terrifying part in that one that I thought of was when the nun came out of that teepee.
Yeah, that's, oh.
I didn't see the second one, but I definitely did see the first one.
You should watch
Annabelle
it.
is not that scary.
Annabelle comes home.
Annabelle's
the
only not
worst one.
scary to me because I watched Chucky.
Oh
Or
my
I'd stay up,
God.
like,
Yeah.
like my parents, we used to stay up and watch movies like that me and my older sister weren't allowed to watch because, I mean, like, Child's Play is very not safe
Let's
for
just say
kids.
there are a lot of movies that we were allowed to watch as kids that a lot of kids aren't and should not be allowed to watch.
Yeah.
But
We're very
anyways,
screwed up when it comes to like certain movies.
I
and-
pretended to fall asleep because I was like, you know what? I wonder what kind of movies they watch. And so I stayed up. I snuck into the living room. I crouched behind the couch. I'm this little kid. And I'm like this tall, like pretty
Probably
much.
that
I'm
tall.
peering over the couch and I'm watching this like doll come to life and just murder everyone. And the worst part of it was my parents showed me the movie Toy Story the day after. So I'm sitting there in my room and on my bed like, are they real? Are they gonna murder me? And I
I was just-
cried for like weeks. It was terrifying.
I was just terrified the fact that dolls would be able to come to life. And my sister, a couple weeks afterwards, had bought porcelain dolls.
Oh,
Oh
no.
So after
Oh,
about
no.
a couple, no, my dad bought them at a garage sale down the street. So me and my brother, me and
Yeah.
Dylan were like, they're possessed. We need to break them.
And also,
So what we did was we
Grandma gave
Oh my gosh,
Very
no,
soft.
those were even creepier. Okay, let's just go. Let's just stick with the one at our house.
Yeah.
At our house, our sister lined her room up with them. So one day, me and my brother decided we went into her room, and like knocked one off the shelf, and it broke its foot off. It's like, okay, we're this is how we're gonna do it. Our mom and dad walked in like, oh, what's that? What happened? The doll the doll fell off the
Shake
shelf.
the baby.
The doll fell off the shelf, and I'm like, okay. But then they're like, yeah, these are kind of weird looking. We should get rid of them. So they got rid of them. And so what me and Dylan were allowed to do was we were allowed to break them. So we broke them. We broke those ones. And then our grandma, before she had passed, she had porcelain dolls in the guest room. Oh my God. And I had to sleep there because my sister had to have her own room. My brother had to have his. And I had to sleep upstairs because, for reasons, I don't know why. And so they put me in the porcelain doll room. And I was just sitting there at night. Because the eyes were reflective, and we have like a lamp outside their
Oh
house.
my gosh,
And so it
no.
reflected into their eyes, and I'm just sitting in bed staring up at the ceiling. I'm like,
Miles.
uh.
I had to sleep in that room for years.
So, but I had to
When we
as well.
visited.
I had to as well because
That's-
Grace would refuse to sleep up there as well because she was so small, like so tiny. Let's just say Child's Play screwed us up as kids.
Yes. All right, Brandon, it is your turn.
All right. my
Favorite horror movie and why? And
Can you
I
guess?
can guess.
Can you
I can
guess?
guess. It's gonna be Friday the 13th Part 4.
It is.
Yeah.
Because that
Wait,
is my favorite horror.
Didn't we say that at the beginning of the podcast?
movie. I'm pretty sure I've already said it. Just because Jason is my favorite slasher of all time, and it was one of the first really things that got me into horror movies was playing that game with you.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the Friday the 13th
Yeah,
game.
'cause you know how hard it was to convince him to buy that game? It literally took me almost like a month.
Dude, I bought it like when I first heard about the game. Well, I didn't buy
we
it
need to
first.
play that.
It's
Yes,
so-
we need to play it because you have it too, don't you?
I have it on the computer though. It's not cross compatibility.
Nah.
Noah can buy it.
Yes, please do.
It's a really fun game. You can play as Jason and or
Counselors.
I
counselor.
suck at it though. I'm terrible at it.
I don't think me and Braedon.
I'm
not
pretty good at it.
I'm
Oh my
not
God.
good either.
One day we recorded it for YouTube, and there was this guy who, like, the way he killed me, he grabbed me through the chest like, and
Yeah.
bent at my heart, and he's like, "I see you," through the chest, and I went like, but he had a heavy accent from like Middle East or something, or, like he sounded Indian, so like, "I see you," and I died of laughter. I'm like, "Oh my lord." That was the best.
I'm pretty
Jason
funny
I've
as
ever
Jason.
seen.
I'll say that. I am pretty funny.
So
I
when-
suck as Jason.
When I played it, I remember this one part where they ran into the window.
Mm.
Like they
You
didn't
just jump
break.
through.
Yeah.
They didn't break it. It glitched. So they literally ran straight through it. And I timed
Ghost mode.
I timed
Hey, we
it
can try
just
this.
right. I punched through
Oh,
it,
yeah, we
grabbed
can.
their neck, whipped it, and then just slammed them.
No, what was funny was that he went to the same there was two people in the same house. He threw one of them out the window, but then they didn't die, so he grabbed him and threw him back in, and that killed him. And so he grabbed the other one, went him out, grabbed him, traced him outside, threw him through that exact same window, so they just landed on top of each other. That was the best thing I've ever seen.
All right, but back to why is that your favorite horror movie?
Oh, yeah. So he's my favorite Slayer, and of course, his kills in that movie, and
Are fantastic.
plus this is the real movie that he's like set, and he doesn't have to go through a bunch of like character building and all that stuff. Like the first one with his mom, then the second one he didn't have his iconic look, and then the third one he got it. But in this one, he's already set. He's already the killer that you know. So you just get to watch him just go through a bunch of just teenagers and just wipe
Brutal
them all out.
kills.
Definitely.
All right. Well,
Okay, so
so we've made it through the first.
oh yeah, I forgot about the first one. Like that was just a long list.
Oh,
Long list.
Maybe what we should do is say our least favorite ones.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's what I was
Since,
gonna say.
since you started, we'll start
Yeah.
least favorite horror
Like
movie and
reverse.
why.
Can you guess? I just saw it about 2 days ago.
I can, and I don't agree with it, but you can
Wait,
say
what
it.
is it?
Say it.
Doctor Sleep. Worst
What?
horror movie I've ever seen. Can I get my rant and just read off my rant?
No.
From okay.
No,
I
no,
won't.
no,
We
no,
can
no,
just-
no. We're improvised. We're not scripted.
Okay. Do you still want me to explain?
we
Yes.
scripted.
I was scripted about a week ago saying it.
Don't tell them that.
So sit around and sees the teleprompter. Sorry.
All right, and we're gonna cut that out. And but no, go explain to us, improvise why you did not like that movie.
Okay, so it was just because I watched A Shining maybe a week before, because I'd never seen The Shining before that, and so
You call yourself a horror fan and you haven't seen the most iconic movies.
Okay, so
Here's Johnny.
Please tell me you've at least seen. Please, Psycho. Please tell me you've seen Psycho.
never seen Psycho.
It's on Netflix.
It's
No, not the original Psycho. But
It was.
American Psycho's on Netflix with Christian Bale. I'm upset with you. You lied to me all these years. Well, now I know who knows more about horror movie stuff.
Us
You?
three.
Me and you are going to be very close tied.
Yeah.
But
Considering
anyways,
we've been watching it for
continue
so
why
long.
you did not like one of the greatest sequels
What?
ever.
No.
No, okay, let's rephrase this. It's not the greatest sequel
It's
ever.
not the greatest, but it's
but
up there.
It's up there because it pays homage to the book and Stanley Kubrick's movie. And the miniseries, too.
Yes, I forgot about the miniseries. Oh my gosh, you're right. You're so
Am I
not.
still explaining it?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
still going in.
Okay, one, I don't think it had a lot to do with the Shining movie at all. Okay,
We're gonna get abusive.
the whole premise is the same. The Shiners, it's supposed to be the same kid or whatever. But when it took place in the movie or whatever, they could have used the same actors. Not all of them. I know some of them are dead. But Jack Nicholson could have been in it. The kid from the original movie could have been in it. So I think I spent more of the time thinking, I wonder which characters are which, more than trying to see.
You realize, though, if you read the book,
Fully, in-depth detail, not
you
skipping a
realize,
word.
well, not even that, but you realize if you even read this, even if you read The Shining, you realize Jack died, right?
Exactly. So he's a ghost.
But he would be too old. Jack Nicholson would be too old.
Yeah, he'd be too old to do it. They'd have to waste
Same
a
thing
lot of
with
money
Sheri
on
Du-
CGI to.
Sherry Duvall
Put
is the
him
same
back.
way. Same thing with Danny Lloyd.
They're too
That's
old
why they're
to
too
come
old.
back as ghosts, like the way that they
Danny's
want.
not a ghost in the Doctor
Well,
Sleep.
I'm not talking about that.
He's
No,
a-
but Danny Lloyd, the kid, the little kid, that's his real name.
Yeah.
He's too old.
No, he's not,
He's like he's in his like 50s, dude.
Mm-hmm.
50s, 60s.
Norman McGregor's pretty old too, but he looks
But he's
super
like he's
young.
40 something.
Yeah, and he
he's not
looks
older
so
than
young.
50.
He's doing the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I know.
He's like-
Which he should have been a movie though, because it was going to be a
It
movie
was
before
because
Disney.
it was part of
Plus
their
with Hawkeye
anthology.
too, which is so dumb. But back to the worst movie of all time.
It's not the worst movie all the time.
yeah.
They're-
I'm gonna hurt you.
They
for this.
took a person going into the hotel, the Stanley Hotel, the Overlook, that's what it's called in the actual movie. They go into it, they have the Shining, and then with the Shiners and everything, and cool, that place is haunted, whatever. Then they go out into the real world and have people killing them for their shine and everything, which is so far off from the original movie because there was nothing about people killing them or anything.
But if you read Doctor Sleep, it would go into depth.
But the
Yes.
only reason why he made Doctor Sleep was to make money. He never.
That's what every franchise and thing is. No, Disney's gonna go into like they're gonna make a
Reboots,
great movie and then
sequels.
they're gonna
That's
add.
exactly why they do
They
these
do it.
things.
They just want money. That's the gist of it. That's why
Exactly,
they make
but you have to do it good.
The
This
book
a-
was good.
The book was amazing.
The book wasn't. It was.
Profanity.
Okay.
That's the second time he said it, but it doesn't matter. I can bleep it out.
Okay. So.
There's a janitor guy.
Yeah.
Wanted to wave.
Oh, and plus, okay, one thing that really made me distance myself from the movie was when they killed a kid on screen, and I usually really like dark and gruesome.
Hello.
Dark
Alright.
and
Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that. He was trying to break in.
dark and gruesome kills, but watching like a kid, which is a great actor by the way, he's the actor from The Good Boys. He's a really fantastic actor. He was about, what would you say, 10, maybe 12, and they were literally like,
I think there's like 15.
He's gonna be like more
No,
R.
no,
15.
yeah, but like in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
In the
Oh,
movie,
and
he's
yeah,
like-
he's like 13.
yeah, and watching some people like eat him basically for it, and his acting, that really distanced me from the movie a lot.
What? Because it was too gruesome, or like what was it?
Just didn't.
Just
do it?
because he was a kid, kind of, and he like made the crying and.
But also think about it.
But think about it. Like if you look at the It movies, they kill
They're
a kid
kids.
right off
They
the
killed
start.
Georgie.
But
dude.
they don't show it.
Yes,
he
they
gets
do. In the
dragged.
new It movie,
No,
they show
chapter
it.
1, they show
They literally
it.
show his arm gone.
Exactly, but when they actually kill him at the point of death, he's dragged into the
But
sewer.
this isn't the only movie that's killed
Yeah.
kids. You have
Also, the second It that
Yeah, chapter 2 or
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured that's what you're talking about.
in the beginning,
That little girl.
or yeah, I forgot about that one. But there is a homosexual that got killed
Not
from
a kid,
getting.
though.
But he wasn't a
Yeah.
kid, but he got killed by a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By teenagers, dude. Do you not realize how screwed up that is?
Yeah.
Well.
It's more screwed up because the kid that he was trying to protect on the skateboard
Mhm.
went to the fun house and he went after him, but it still managed to Pennywise still managed to grab him and kill him.
But I'm pretty
And
sure.
you see it too.
But it's
Yeah.
just like blood splatter. You know what I mean? You don't actually see the kid.
But
die.
okay, think about it like this: did the kid in the movie die, or did they just be like did they suck up his shine?
He did die though. Come on.
But did they suck up his shine, or what happened? Like, how did that work? Did they
'Cause
rip
you
him
haven't seen
apart?
it yet, have you?
No, I haven't seen it. Did they rip him apart?
Should I say anymore?
Just say I don't care. I read the book.
He's read the book. It's not
He
gonna be spoiled.
sucked the shine out of him, which killed him.
Yes, but that
Yeah.
okay. That's totally different.
But they show him stabbing him and literally like cutting.
So, okay, technically you want to go based off of they suck up his shine, Thanos kills half the universe, and you see them die.
He's got a very valid point. It may not be
Because
as
they
gruesome,
go
but
into
it's the same
dust.
I still
But
got
Peter's was
pretty
emotional because he felt it.
I did cry. We both cried.
Yeah, me and
But
Brandon were
Peter-
both like. Oh.
But Peter felt it though, so therefore he felt himself die.
Mr.
Long
Stark.
story
But in
short,
I don't feel
Endgame,
too good.
he
They
says.
also show Tony Stark die. So
But in Endgame, Peter says he's like, it's like I just took a nap. It's like I didn't feel anything. It was like a nail hitting my.
But we didn't know that for like a whole year.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's what they do say. But Doctor Sleep, they didn't know for
Okay.
the whole 30, 50 years.
Long story short, he does not like Doctor
Oh,
Sleep. We all
exactly.
disagree.
Also,
one more, yeah, you bring up your point, then I'll bring up my
Oh,
last
gosh,
point. Why
here
this
we
is
go.
did
Like,
you
his opinion
guys
is wrong.
know that when Stephen King stayed at the Stanley, the way that he thought of The Shining was he was drinking at the bar and he got
That's
so
really-
drunk.
And the funny thing was, we went to go.
He
See,
went
we
back
went.
to
We
his
went
room.
into the bar area because it's like a shut down bar now. So we went in and like we looked around. I'm thinking to myself, any of these seats could have been where Stephen King sat down. So
Yeah.
I sat down in every seat.
that is the best way to end this conversation. So I sat down in every seat.
But when it comes down to it, since I've read the book of Doctor Sleep, they mentioned Dick Halloran and like it's set in 1980.
Yes.
And he's going back to the Overlook in 1980. That's why they're in Florida, because they
I have clothes on. Don't worry.
they're like, oh, we can't find Dick Halloran here, so we go after this kid who we know is a shiner. That's exactly why they're in Florida at that point.
Oh, that's not like the
Noah,
movie. That's
What
not
is
like
your
the movie at
opinion
all.
on it? We haven't
Yeah,
heard
it's
you talk in a while.
I have no clue what you guys
They're
are
not
talking
even in
about.
Florida.
But
And, yeah.
What?
yeah.
The Shining.
All
What are you
right,
talking
my
about?
turn, because this conversation
Yes.
has lasted like 10% of the podcast. But well, now we all know where you stand.
Oh, yeah.
And we know where I stand because I know his opinion's wrong.
Oh my. Okay,
Opinion
that's
can't
it.
be wrong.
Opinions are opinions. My least favorite horror movie and why? My least favorite horror movie, it wasn't. I was gonna say Bye Bye Man, but I personally thought it was a pretty good storyline, and it wouldn't be my least favorite. My least favorite was this movie called Robert, or it's like Roberto or
Oh.
something.
Is
It's the dumbest horror movie
Or-
theme ever.
Is it like a little stuffed
No.
doll?
Is it the boy?
Or no?
Nope. It's a tire that murders people.
Oh.
I'm dead serious. It was on Netflix for a few years. It was one of the first things I started watching when I started watching like those crappy like non-popular horror
Yeah.
movies. And it is literally the most terrible movie I've ever seen in my life.
Have you seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Let me.
What about Basket Case?
Yeah. Basket Case.
Okay, the first one was
tolerate more.
a decent one.
Yes, I tolerate Basket Case a little more, but this where you have to be on some kind of high drug level, like past the max capacity anyone's ever thought of, to come up with a movie about a tire murdering people.
And it's just a tire. It's not like
And
an
it's
actual truck
not like
or
a person
anything.
or anything. It's literally a tire.
I don't
I'm tired.
Oh, so
Alright.
you're into D-list kind of horror movies, Brandon, I see.
Dude, the bad ones are kind of good. Like the Ice Cream Man is a really.
Okay.
The Ice Cream Man isn't bad
It's
though.
not bad.
Scary
but it's a
movie.
D-list movie. Or B-list at least.
I'd say it's at least C-list, it's not D-list. But
Yeah.
I can think of I can think of.
Okay, your least favorite horror movie and why? Because mine's not gonna be
Out
a
of
long
all of
conversation.
them? Oh.
I know it's hard to think about.
For now, I'm gonna have to go with Leprechaun in Space.
Okay, that was
He was about to start this whole argument. He was like,
Space was a really
one,
terrible
like
one.
one and two were fine. I'm
Yes.
fine with 1 and 2.
And the reboot. The reboot was pretty good.
Oh, the reboot one. Oh,
I love the
Reboot was
reboot.
good.
but number
Not
3 and
Origins, but the
4.
other one.
3 and 4 were my least favorite ones due to the fact that they put them. It's the same reason why I like them.
But it's not.
You
the
make
same
it
premise.
so hard not to hit you,
But it's
Brandon.
not
You
the
make
same
it
premise.
so hard.
It's not the same premise.
What isn't? I'm
Use,
so confused.
Leprechaun Origins.
Oh, I never said that they were
Oh,
bad.
Leprechaun
I just-
Origins? Okay, I'm
I
not
like-
talking about that one. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the reboot
I'm
one with Warwick.
no, I'm
that
saying
replaced
that
Warwick Davis as an
I never
actual
said it was
Leprechaun
bad.
novel.
And
I
I'm
like
saying-
Leprechaun Origins.
Okay.
Leprechaun Origins.
And In the Hood was good too. That's a very unpopular
The first
opinion.
one. The first
The-
one was
The
alright.
first
In
one, I
the-
couldn't get through
Leprechaun
the
in,
second one.
in
Yeah.
the Hood. Is it in the Hood or in the Hood?
In
In
the
the
Hood.
Hood.
In the Hood was actually a pretty good movie. I'm not even gonna lie. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
Leprechaun
but-
movies.
In my opinion, it sucked because of when he went when they were trying to steal stuff and he pulled out a gun, like running around and saying, "No, my gold," or something like that, and then
I think you're thinking of the
Well,
wrong movie, dude.
I think
no,
you're thinking-
No,
I'm
I
I remember
think
that
the right
scene from-
movie. It sounds right.
yeah, because he comes out of the case and then
Oh,
he pulls
yeah,
out
that's
a
right.
gun.
I don't think he pulls out a gun. I think Mac Daddy pulls out a gun. Ice Cube pulls out a gun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mac
Leprechaun
Daddy.
has never.
Mac Daddy. Just.
That's your rap name?
That's where the Big Mac
That's your
was created.
character status, Mac Daddy.
Yeah, man.
Not even just Daddy. It's just Mac Daddy. That's so weird.
But yeah.
But
That's
it's
how
the same
Big Macs
reason
were
why
created.
it's the same reason why I like horror movies because they put them in a different setting. But with a leprechaun being in
Space.
space and Vegas, didn't really make much sense to me because
Yeah.
just the way they did it. The third one was a lot better than the fourth one. I'll give it that. I'll give it credit where it's due. But the fourth one, just putting him in space, the effects were crap. All of it was just bad.
I don't remember.
Which
Which
one
one?
was the third one?
In Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
It was
a
the second. It
horrible
was the
one, too.
first one where he was obviously the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, I don't really remember.
Second one was like a direct sequel to the first
was like
one.
they
Same
made-
characters pretty much.
Yeah, and then the third one was Vegas.
Mhm.
Fourth one space. Fifth one
In the
was
Hood.
in the hood. Sixth one was
In the Hood
back,
too.
back to the hood.
Yeah.
And then I think there was an
Origins.
eighth. It was Origins, then the new
Yeah.
reboot
Yeah.
Leprechaun, which I think was actually pretty.
I think the
decent
last
for
two Leprechaun movies they made were good, and I like the first two, but I think
Leprechaun Origins
most
was
of it in
was
between is
was
just-
my least favorite one besides those two.
Yeah.
But I'll give it credit where it's due. Sci-Fi did do a decent job for the budget they had.
Yeah, that is very true. All right, Noah.
Alrighty, my turn.
Yep.
No, it's like I don't talk.
And it's hard to think about these two. Like they're hard questions, so
Same
if we
thing with
pause
the-
for a little bit. It's
Same thing with being like your best horror movie.
yeah, it's hard because
Because
there's good ones and there's bad ones.
I easily also could have chose Scream
Yeah.
because Scream is one of my favorite horror movies too. Wes Craven, just
There's a lot.
Scram.
But
Scram.
go for it.
I would have to say it's like a tie, another tie between Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because that one was
Okay,
garbage.
that I can understand that.
We'll-
one. I'm
we'll
about to say
give
the
you that
first one.
one.
I'm about to say the
We'll
first one. You have to
Brandon,
take that
I feel like
back.
you want to say
Yeah.
the exact opposite of what we're saying, and
I'm
you're
trying
just
to think
holding
of
back.
which one is number two.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I died of boredom from that one. That was so terrible.
It wasn't
was
the
literally-
worst.
It wasn't the worst one,
I
but
hated
it
it
was
so
bad.
much. It was like they were trying to move off the first one. They
Yeah.
didn't add any new plot element. It was
Wait,
just
wait, wait,
basically
wait. Is
the
it
first
that the
one.
one with the?
That's the one where Freddy
It started out in
possesses
a
the kid.
bus,
Yeah.
right? It started out in a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was actually. It was not the best, but it definitely wasn't the worst.
The worst one was the newer
Six.
one.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
The
The
Okay.
rebooted one.
Yep.
The rebooted one is the worst one, but after that, it's 6. Freddy's Dead is the worst
okay,
one.
Yeah.
Dream Master and Dream Child also suck.
Yes.
1 through 3 are pretty good, and then
Yeah.
New Nightmares also.
But continue. Your other tie.
And the other one I think would be The Strangers. That was terrible.
All right, you're
Wait.
having a Brandon moment right
Wait,
here.
number one or number
Terrible.
two? Which one?
The first one.
Okay, I can kind of agree with that.
No,
I like number 2.
I didn't.
I like them both. I thought they were both great elements, and
I
like the
think-
first one
yeah.
just creates that like insomnia, fear, or
It's
paranoia
really like a
fear.
Because you're
thriller
being
horror movie,
invaded
too.
in your house.
Exactly. It could really happen. Both of the movies could really
Yeah,
happen.
it's just
Yeah.
that terrifying fear factor. I understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
where it's like it probably didn't keep your interest, and it probably wasn't enough like,
I'm into
deaths
like
and
the
stuff.
fast-paced stuff. You know?
Yeah.
It was
Which-
too drawn out.
which is understandable.
okay.
That's understandable.
I get this probably isn't. I know this isn't a horror movie, but it counts as like a thriller suspense. The Purge, I think you would like, Noah.
You
Never
would
watched
would
The
like the
Purge.
Purge.
Is it because I'm crazy?
No,
and I
no,
wanna
no.
murder people?
I think. I think the Purge you would like the most would be Anarchy or Election Year.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The first one
Election-
wasn't bad, but
Dude,
it wasn't
election
good.
year he will
Oh,
love.
you would love Skeletor.
Yeah.
Skeletor?
He-Man?
I was gonna say, hey man, what the heck?
No, did you guys not watch Election Year?
I've never
I've
watched
seen
any Purge.
Dude, all the
And
Purge-
you call yourself a horror fan?
Dude, they kill. Dude, the Purge killed over like the Election Year killed at least over 200 people.
From Dead Meets Kill Count.
That's the only reason why I know that. But that's
Go
not.
subscribe to him.
Dude,
Yes,
he's actually a really good
shout out to
YouTuber.
him.
He does a lot of work.
If you're a horror movie like fanatic, or like if you want to get into horror movies and you can't find good ones, watch his kill counts because they'll pretty much give you the entirety of the
Yes.
movie. But you'll just like that's where I find most of my like interest. Like before, I was gonna say before the Candyman kill count, but I saw Candyman before he released it.
Yeah,
like,
same here.
But no, like the Belko experiment, I never heard of it.
Oh
and
my
I saw
God.
that kill count, and I loved that movie. I think it's a grand.
That's how I know a lot of
Well.
synopsises of movies now.
Mhm. But,
Yeah, Dylan,
yeah,
what's yours?
Dylan?
I
I
don't.
feel like I'm gonna punch him after this if he says the wrong name.
Just
So-
fist fight.
He's gonna pick a
Speaking
good
of
movie.
dead meat, I know you've seen it, but I don't know if you have. But
He's the one who told me about Dead
or,
Meat.
yeah,
Yeah, I love
Me and
Dead
Brandon
Meat.
known.
Oh
But
yeah, we watched it for years.
there was this one kill count of where these creatures were in a cave.
Oh, the death.
The
Yeah.
Descent.
The Descent.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good
I-
movie.
The
That was
Descent
a
is
good
an
movie.
amazing. It is
I
one
don't
of
like
the
that
best
one.
foreign horror films I've ever seen. And that's
Oh,
because
what's
I
the
don't
what's the
know
one with
foreign.
they all did their respective languages and came out like the 70s. It's like Scorpa. It's like Scorpius. Like the main.
Suspiria?
Yeah, that
There you
one.
go.
Oh,
That one's a good one, too.
Suspiria is a
It
great
was a great
one.
horror movie.
I can't remember the name because it's just a weird name. It's like a weird title. to me.
Well, now we know who knows more.
Yeah.
It is pretty even though. I won't
Yeah.
lie.
But my least favorite, another one that I can't remember the name, but it's
Of
a
course.
giant fly trap where it says "Feed me, Seymour."
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. Okay.
I can
Does
see
that
that.
I don't
count as
like
a
that one.
horror movie?
I would count it.
It's a horror movie. It's
It's
more.
a killer plant. That,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, you guys-
I
it
don't
fall
count
under
it
the
as a horror
category.
movie.
I think.
It's like a B-list horror movie that you don't like. You don't count it one, but you count it anyway.
You know, people do that for like musicals too.
Mhm.
Little Shop of Horrors. I've never counted it.
But yeah, that's understandable. I like the Descent though. I thought the
Yeah.
just that crazy. The Descent 2 was a little whack, and like
yeah.
the Descent, the endings in both movies were different. Like one of the endings, it shows her getting away and it's fine. I think that's the original one, and then the American one, they have
Yeah.
her wake up and she's still in that cave. But both endings were great, and I think the film itself, going rock climbing with your friends
Yeah.
and then going through this murderous experiment and then having that accidental murder, spoiler alert, having that accidental murder and then just trying to lie about it, it's just, all these, it's like creating paranoia
Yeah.
with like every other fear factor you could imagine. Like, what's it called?
Well, they don't-
claustrophobia. It's a huge claustrophobic movie.
And if you're like afraid
crazy.
of like they look like humanoid rat creatures.
Yeah.
Is what they were
Yeah.
looking like. They were mole people pretty much, but they were like creatures that look like.
They had like scaly skin.
Oh, dude, that was the weirdest part. Like I'm like
Yeah.
I would hate to encounter that in real life. Any of these characters I would hate to encounter. Jason, Freddy, Pinhead, Leatherface, all of them. I would hate it.
Hellraiser series was kind of a...
It was,
The first
It
one
was
was
kind
a
of a
good.
letdown.
The first one was a good one, but the rest were
Yeah, it
sucked.
just kind of was a huge letdown.
Well,
Yeah.
after the person who originally played Pinhead left the series,
It was gone.
it went
was-
trash
it was
because they had to
instant.
hire a new actor who was a bit bigger than the rest.
Yeah.
But I can't. I don't want to be rude, but like he was a bigger guy.
Mhm.
He just didn't look right with the makeup and everything
Yeah.
on.
So,
Noah will love the Descent.
He would.
He's obsessed with
I've tried to
mole
get him to
people.
watch it. He always tells me no. But.
So, the other day, I was outside work, and I was just like, on my break, and there was this, there's sewer grates,
Yeah.
and I was just walking past them, and then I made a new friend with the mole people, and
I think Noah might be on drugs.
and then my boss came out and was like, hey, you got to stop talking to the mole people. And
I
I'm
honestly
like,
don't
"Come on."
believe this, but at
This
the
is
same
a
time, I
fake story.
believe
This
it.
is a fake story.
But
Yeah,
honestly,
It's completely fake.
Yeah.
I was about to say I don't believe it's real, but at the same time, I believe it's real just based
Yeah.
off of Noah.
Just because of who he is as a person and
And
around
then my
people.
boss said, if I don't stop talking to the mole people, then I'm gonna get fired. And I'm like, oh, come on, please. And she's like, no, you're gonna get fired. And then I'm like, what do you guys think? Should I risk it?
Should I risk my job?
You know, the one that's paying me like $9 an hour,
That's how much we
Talking
made.
to the mole people.
but
Well, you made more because you worked 2 jobs, but
I still
need to
worked
do
a
it.
lot more than I
I need
did
to-
when I
I
first
know.
started off at Spirit.
all right. But so since we got through favorite and least favorite films,
I
why don't we go
think
through?
what we should do is have like not a contest, but like who's your favorite horror movie icon?
That's what I was gonna say. Favorite and least
Oh.
favorite horror movie icon. I'm surprised
Icon
no
like
one's-
Survivor or like bad
Anything.
guy?
We'll do both. We'll do both if we have
Okay,
time.
and we're-
but since
when
we
we-
ended
when we-
off over there,
yeah.
we'll start there.
I think what we should do is don't count it. If you count a suspenseful thriller, that's what we're counting. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not counting just horror movies like slashers. I'm counting all of them
Mhm.
that run into that horror movie category.
You're up.
So, this is just a joke. This isn't.
Wait, is it your favorite?
And like
or
a
least
species,
favorite?
or a race, they count
Like
too.
Xenomorphs.
Yeah,
Or- and like
Xenomorphs and like
Predators,
Predator,
and
those
the
count.
descendant
Yeah.
characters.
So, this is a joke. Don't think it's real. Michael Jackson, because of Thriller.
That could count. We could consider it. We
Yeah.
could.
I
we
mean,
could
What about
work
Michael
with
Jackson in Scary Movie?
That
I
was
remember
real.
that. That's amazing.
But those aliens from Scary Movie, he tries to kick him in the nuts, and then he goes, "We don't feel anything down there." And
Sticks his
then
finger in his mouth?
Yeah, we pee out of our fingers, and then. He's
All
like,
right, let's just let's go with
It's
that.
so
favorite,
funny,
least
though.
favorite horror movie icon.
Probably going off of like my favorite, probably Kramer from Saw, who actually voiced the
Okay.
puppet.
Yeah, that's understandable.
At least he actually knew the name.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like, you know that one guy?
That one guy.
You
that's
know
fair.
that one-
I figured that's who you were gonna say, honestly.
Because you said then you were the one who said your favorite movie was Saw,
Yeah.
so I mean I kind of figured that, but
All right, all right.
but
No. Oh well, yeah, but why?
because of the
But why?
Just because in the, I don't remember which ones. I think it's the newer one. He got cancer, and then
well I thought he's always had cancer.
Or-
That's why he had to use the
but-
puppet.
with that, he supposedly died, and then came back just to like
Yeah.
perform.
Screw with these people.
Yeah, just to like screw with them and perform as Billy Puppet again, and then just
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
All right, that's fair.
What about
Noah?
you, Noah?
Least favorite or favorite?
Favorite.
Favorite.
Favorite. Oh my god. I would say. I know.
okay.
Honestly, I don't know if I have a favorite.
What about Leatherface?
I think no.
Okay.
I think my favorite, like, guy that, like, the scariest guy, from a horror movie was Jack Nicholson in
Yes.
The Shining.
All right, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's
That's
fair
a
too.
really good answer.
Receding
Honestly.
hairline, that scares me. I'm not gonna hurt you.
All right, Miles.
Okay, this may sound a little bit weird because none of us have mentioned this movie, but Sam from Trick or Treat.
Ooh,
Oh,
that is Sam is such
dude,
an
Sam is
underrated
so
horror
dope.
movie icon, and so is the Trick or Treat movie. That is one of the most underrated movies of
Yeah.
all time.
Just imagine that. Imagine seeing a little kid dressed in a burlap sack mask.
There's shirts under here, so I can't.
Yeah,
put
so
it
we had
on,
to
but-
we had to angle it somehow.
Yeah.
But imagine that. Imagine he's probably like
candy, mommy.
he's not even like 10. He's like
He's younger than that.
8, 6, somewhere around that age, 6 to
Doesn't he
8.
kill people with his?
He kills people with this sucker. With
Yeah.
this
That's the
huge
coolest
bite
part
mark.
too.
Yeah, which is amazing. You're
Like, imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing that. You're trick or treating with your friends, and you go and look across the street, and you see a kid getting murdered by another like 6-year-old. Like, I would be so terrified of that.
I would run
That's
home
why
and
he's such a
cry.
cool character and one of my favorite ones.
That's a
Also,
good answer. Oh man.
another one like that. The newest Halloween.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
In the trailer, these kids bump into Michael Myers, And
yeah.
they say, sorry, mister. And then Michael just walks into a house.
Just casually
The-
chilling, just like, oh
the
yeah.
long, the long shot
Oh yeah.
when they're at
It's-
Halloween.
It's
Yeah.
one
That
shot.
is one of the best shots I've
Yes,
ever seen in a movie.
It's one shot. It's
It's a one shot, and it's like 2 minute one shot
Yeah.
too. It's so good.
Second favorite horror movie.
The newer one or the older one?
The newer.
Easily my third favorite one's the newer, like not this, like the first one.
Can I have another unpopular opinion? My favorite Halloween movie is the third one.
I mean, that's the
The
one
Season
with,
of the Witch.
that's the
Oh,
one with
Okay,
the
yeah,
mask.
there's nothing
That's not
wrong.
the-
Season of the Witch is a general good movie, in my
Okay,
opinion.
thank God.
Whenever they get the
The
what's it called?
sixth one
Yeah.
with
What
Paul
the bo-
Rudd.
Not Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is the fourth one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he wasn't. That was in
Yeah.
the 80s. When he did it, it was in the 90s.
It
He
wasn't
was
the
like
fourth one. The
sixth
little
kid.
girl was 4 and 5, and 6 was Paul Rudd when he got
yeah,
the
you're
thorn
right.
tattoo.
So
I liked Paul
the
Rudd in
cult,
that
the
movie,
cult
though.
one.
Yeah.
The cult movies were bad.
Oh yeah.
Just because they brought in the cult stuff and they had to figure out a way to, hey, he's in jail now. We need to get him out of jail. So they made the guy, got him out of jail, and blew up the jail.
That movie was alright. My favorite horror character and why? The one that's always stuck out the most to me, and me and Braedon are gonna say the same answer on this. And yeah, since I brought Mini Buddy here, and this mask is also mine. I had a friend who paid for it, and it's not one on
He's
here,
so
but
grateful.
he was I'm gonna miss them. I'm gonna miss them so much.
I am too.
But so my favorite's Jason Voorhees, and the reason this is because I don't know. It's like the stalker factor, and this is why Michael Myers is up on
Yeah.
that list too. Is that stalker factor of like feeling watched and they can't see him, and then like I know some people hate on the supernatural like teleporting and stuff, but I think it just adds on to that scary moments
Yeah.
and like just builds into that fear, and I
Well-
just loved it.
He didn't become
didn't become
supernatural
supernatural
until
until
like the
sixth.
fourth, fifth, sixth, somewhere around
Sixth.
that.
It was when he was resurrected, but I mean even then in like the
Oh,
earlier
yeah, 'cause
ones,
that was
it's
when
just
that was after
Yeah.
that was when an adult Tommy Jarvis was like killing him, like trying
Yeah.
to kill him again. He's like,
and then it
he
gets
was-
struck by lightning.
which was that's not how science works.
But
This
that
one-
was a cool.
It was a cool way to bring him back.
But and even before then, just the fact that he's this like unstoppable
Yeah.
creature, like this kid who drowned is alive, and now like he can get scars everywhere, and like the only reason he almost lived in the fourth one too. He got a machete through like his entire face, and he still got up and was ready to
But he
fight
was,
back.
but he was like, I'm gonna get you. And like I'd been like, oh my god, how do you? But in the first one, when like, well, they showed
Yeah.
they don't did they? I don't remember in the first one. They showed he drowned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I'm thinking of Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Because they also have him come up against the
grab
boat,
the
and
chick
that's
from
how
the
the
boat.
first one ended.
Yeah, because then the directors clarified in the second one that he had gotten out of the water because he could not swim, obviously, but he somehow managed to get out of the water and survive throughout the woods, and that's why the POV shot of him in the
Yeah.
second one makes sense because
Okay.
if he's drowned, you're dead. How is that going to work? They explained that in an interview. I'm like, that's at least a good explanation.
But then in Freddy vs. Jason, he's afraid of water.
Because he drowned. Well, because he supposedly
I think
drowned.
But
the
he
reason
can
for
swim.
it.
Like in Takes Manhattan, he swims. He swims onto
He
the
swims
boat.
in all the movies,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think it's an understandable weakness that they gave him, and that's just because like they also had to give Freddy weaknesses too. Like
Well, then, yeah,
they had to weaken them. They can't just let them be both these amazing horror movie like they couldn't have them at their full potential like they are in
Yeah.
their movies. They had to lower it down so that way it'd be a pretty good even
And
fight.
the problem, the only problem, I'm talking about the fight scene they had at the end of
Yeah.
the movie. The only problem I had with that movie is that the final blow went to Jason, but I think that's my honest opinion. It should
Final
stay
blow
that way.
went to Freddy.
No, it
No,
didn't.
it didn't.
I thought it did.
Freddy's hand went through
Oh,
himself,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Jason like did that, and he fell in the water. And then Freddy fell after. The ending I did not like.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that he came up out of the water with Freddy's head and it winked. I get it. He's a supernatural being,
Exactly.
but still, he's in the real world.
That should have
In
been
every
there.
other
Yeah.
movie, it showed him like when he
That's
got
the
to the
way
real
you
world,
kill him
it
in the
died.
real world.
But no, he's a
The
supernatural.
only reason he
being.
still lives throughout the only reason like he's killed in the real world, the only reason that works is because if he works off of people's fear, and that's the beginning premise of the Jason vs. Freddy movies. He's trying to get all of his power back, and so he gets Jason. He's like, "You're gonna go kill all these people," and everyone. He
Yeah.
goes back to like the Elm Street, and that's where Jason starts murdering everyone, and they're like. okay, this is Freddy coming back, and that's how he comes back constantly. It's just they're all afraid of him, and that's how he gets his strength, and that's just really the
I think
explanation for that.
I think Freddy vs. Jason is one of my favorite horror movies due to the fact that two of my favorite killers went up against each other.
And it was a pretty
Cool
decent
concept.
movie.
For
And
coming
they-
out in 2003.
And,
you know, besides
the
effects,
way they
some of
made the
effects.
fight scenes even, and even though
Yeah.
they had the crappy weaknesses, I still think it was a great film.
But another, I'm not gonna say terrible scene in that movie was where they were fighting in that cabin when it was lit on fire and then everything just started falling.
Yeah.
My question is, how did they time that correctly so like they would move, something would fall, move back, something will
I don't
fall.
know, but that's
Yeah.
that's a film moment. All right,
Yeah.
Brandon, your turn finally. Favorite horror icon and why?
Okay.
And you
well,
could say the same thing as me.
Okay, well, Kane Hodder is my favorite actor who plays Jason, of
Mhm.
course. But my favorite actually horror like Slayer is gotta be Ghostface.
And why?
Well,
Because
which
he's
one?
so meta.
Ooh, yeah, true. Because there's 4.
Technically,
Oh,
there's 4.
6.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Technically,
You're right.
6.
Ooh, he is right.
I gotta
Because it goes
say,
2, 2.
No, there's 2.
There's
Oh,
2 in the first one, 2
yes,
in the second
there's
one.
2, 2, 1, 2.
Mhm.
That's 7.
Oh my god. But anyways, continue.
the TV show version definitely,
Oh,
and
so that's- I totally didn't.
the first one
Okay.
because I loved the TV show.
The TV show is amazing.
And
That's
Until
like the
they
one TV
went-
show I haven't watched yet.
It's on Netflix.
You
I
haven't
know.
I'd
seen
check it out.
Like
No.
any of it?
Brandon, you have no room to judge. You haven't seen like 95% of the most
I
iconic
don't like
movies.
demonic shit.
Psycho isn't demonic.
He's too old.
What do you mean?
You make my brain
60.
hurt. Continue, please.
I was done.
Okay, then least favorite since we came this way. Least favorite.
Okay, I know I don't know the actor who played him or the character's name because he was so bad.
Mhm.
But in Friday the 13th Part 4, the guy that
Yeah.
died screaming, "He's killing me! He's killing me!"
I really wish I could think of the name for that character too.
It's the worst.
What do you mean?
Oh, where he's like, where the guy is killing him.
Yeah.
Like he also killed people, so it's like, oh, he's killing me. He's killing me. It's like the way the way the line delivery is. It's just
Oh.
bad.
That reminds me of Will Ferrell in Austin Powers, where he falls backwards
He's
into
like-
that lava pit thing,
He's
and
like,
then
I'm very badly burned. That's a great
you
movie.
shot me! I can't
Dude,
believe you
next
shot me!
podcast we should do sci-fi movies. But anyways, look at me. So the next, or my least favorite horror movie icon is probably, as tough as it really is, it'd probably be Chucky. And I'm gonna get a little bit of just hate about it, but I mean, I understand the premise and I
I
like
can
what
see
they
both
tried to do
ways.
with it, but it's just, this guy's kind of like a, and I know it's like what they were going for, but I didn't like the fact that he was just a stuck-up prick who was like, oh, I may be 3 feet tall, but I'll murder your entire family. And he was just, his comedy factor wasn't good, personally.
Oh yeah, Bride of Chucky was horrible. Seed
Yes.
of Chucky was horrible.
I like the newer ones were a lot
All
better.
the new ones except for the reboot of Child's Play was good.
Yes.
I didn't like reboot.
I didn't like
You
Reboot
know.
either. I thought Mark Hamill was a perfect cast, but they butchered that movie.
They butchered the doll. Like,
Yeah,
And-
they butchered the doll.
yeah, just 3D print the original doll.
You can't do that. They don't have the original
Yeah,
print.
but if they would have just, honestly, I feel like that film would have been more enjoyable if they fixed it all.
Yeah,
Because it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a great movie. Good scares.
Wait, the reboot.
I think it was a great movie. I
Yeah.
think they just butchered a lot of the
I
main
don't like the
important
plot
stuff.
how he can like he's basically iHome where he can just control everything.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
I
good way to
did-
go with it. I like
Because
it.
it brought him into the modern day and like, oh, this is a
Yeah.
technological toy that actually can connect to stuff.
I
Like
just
a lot
don't
of
like
the,
that.
like your phone is technically considered a toy, but it can control your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your
Yeah.
settings on your TV and everything.
Mhm.
So I don't see why you couldn't bring a doll,
Mhm.
because a lot of dolls do that nowadays,
Yep.
which is freaky if you think about it. But at the same time, I get it.
I guess for
All right, Miles.
iRobot killing
You're
you.
up. Detroit becoming human.
Detroit become human.
All right, least favorite, Miles.
I might get a little hate for this by anybody, but Blade from Puppet Master.
oh,
That's
yeah.
fair.
That is fair.
That is very fair.
Just because, like, he just seemed like he didn't seem like a killer. He just seemed like a perv.
Yep.
Because in the first movie, you see him like grabbing a chair, going up to the door in the keyhole, seeing people have a weird scene.
Yep.
You can obviously probably guess what that is.
Yeah.
Let's just say that he stood there on the chair, and when they found he just dragged the chair off. He's like, you know what? let's not be horny and kill him.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
Puppet Master movies. I thought like, as I've been saying, I thought the ideas were good and like they had the right process. They just butchered the actual.
But you know, it's a part of the Demonic Toys
Mhm.
It's Demonic Toys series, so I can see why it wasn't
Ooh,
that good.
I forgot about all the Christmas and like Thanksgiving
Oh.
movies for least.
Santa's
movies.
Sleigh.
Oh,
That's a
no.
decent
Satan's
movie.
Sleigh.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Satan's Sleigh.
It's still a
And,
good
like,
movie though.
Satan's Sleigh?
Really?
No,
yeah.
like Santa, like the one with
Oh.
Bill Goldberg.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that one's a good movie.
But there were a
Krampus.
lot of bad. I liked Krampus.
Krampus was.
If you guys don't know who Bill Goldberg is,
He's a wrestler. Or
Used
was
to be a wrestler.
All right,
No,
Noah. Least favorite and why?
Noah's just like dead over here. He's like, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think I have a least favorite. Like,
All right, next. All right.
No reason, just like I don't have one.
All right. Beep. Dylan.
for me, it's a mashup,
Oh boy.
Oh,
like a
Lord.
tie
Mhm.
between a
But
tie
anyways, continue.
between Jason's mom
Oh.
Ooh, really?
and Annabelle.
Okay,
I can, see,
I don't
Ja-
like
I can
Annabelle.
see Annabelle and I can see
Because
Jason's
it's
mom.
not
I can
the
see
dog
them
killing
both
people.
away.
The reason why I dislike Jason's mom, she wasn't in it very long,
Yeah, she had like a total of like 5 minutes of screen
Yeah.
time.
And they
at
killed
most.
her.
and
Yeah.
in Freddy vs. Jason,
Well, obviously you can't bring out the same actress. She
I
died
know.
prior to the movie.
Yeah.
but just have more of Freddy pretending to be her
Yeah.
That would have made the movie a little bit better,
to
honestly.
like have the psychological thing go into Jason.
It was
so
like,
then-
oh my gosh, my mom is telling me to do this. I'm
Yeah.
so happy now.
All right.
But I can see that.
Well,
and
I like how none of us gave each other flack for our least favorite ones because we know like, oh, these can be bad. But when our first one's like,
until
take that
Brandon
back?
said Doctor Sleep as his least
Yeah, I was
favorite
gonna,
movie.
gonna say you gave me a lot of backlash for that. Movie.
oh yeah, but that's a movie. I'm talking about characters.
All right, but
Character-wise,
anyways.
none of that was bad.
It seems we have been pretty caught up because we started around 3:15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Or a
pretty
little
good
over.
so far. This took the entire time.
And I think
Yeah.
sci-fi should be our next theme. But all right, time for the closing thoughts. Our merch. We have released a ton
Oh my
of new
gosh.
merch. So
Yes.
please,
A lot of
I have my
interesting.
order. It'll come in next week. I know Dylan got
It
an
should
order.
be by
Miles
Friday.
has stuff.
It
Noah
should
has
be here
stuff.
by tomorrow.
Brandon still has to order new things, and he
Yeah.
said he was looking into the newer ones because the newer
Oh.
merch ideas are
Oh
beautiful,
my
and you
God.
guys definitely need to go check them out. If you have a hard time finding the website, what I would do is I'd go to our like regular website, theround1podcast.com. Go shop now. and
Can I
Miles
say a
can put
few?
text. Yes.
okay, so we thought of, or not really thought of, but
Dude, we have a huge list.
We have a giant list. I have it written down.
We won't spoil anything, but those will be for
No.
next season.
Yes.
so can I just say the like things that they were based off of, because I don't know the names of them.
We've definitely thought a lot of like 80s retro, like 80s themed.
I
Like,
wanted-
movies
guys.
and
Number one,
I want to do an 80. I want to do a red.
Friends.
What
number
do you
two,
mean? Oh, Friends. I think you said Trends. I'm like,
Pokemon.
what?
number three, NASA.
yeah.
But NASA one has
That's
not
the
been
one
released
will
yet,
not be
but
released this
yeah.
season.
it's gonna be released.
But there's
at
a teaser
season
for you.
2.
We are going to be taking down some merch, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for next season. We're going to keep everything up till the end of this season until like we begin.
Until
starting.
2020, we're gonna keep everything up.
So if you
So
want
get yours
something, get it now.
I believe the ones we were discussing that we're gonna take down are the Ogreific merch,
Yeah.
the
Goodbye,
Burger
Shrek.
King one,
Goodbye.
and
The soda sad day.
no, I think the Coke one's gonna stay
Okay.
up. The Coke one's gonna stay up for a bit longer.
Leave the Disney one.
The Disney one's staying up too. The Disney one's a pretty good logo. So
Yeah.
Coke, Disney are staying. The
Oh.
Ogreific merch
It's going.
is going, unfortunately, because it's such a good.
No,
looking
don't put it
thing.
on. Just hold it in front
Yeah.
of the thing.
We're
we,
keeping the
we have a
beautiful Disney.
we have a
one.
Yeah.
replica of the Disney merch, by the way. But
And
yeah,
Dylan should
definitely
be
go
here.
check out the merch. It's all we have new
Disney.
stuff. It's honestly it's really great.
It wouldn't be possible without Braedon and like myself and everybody helping us come up with ideas.
Yes.
He's the drawer and I the drawer.
I'm the designer,
Artist.
so I designed like
Yeah.
sketches for it and like our Christmas sweater. We're trying to work out the kinks
Yeah,
for
so-
it right now, but There you go. That's a better image
Oh, yeah,
of
that's-
the Disney. But yeah, merch store. If you have a hard time getting, like, just trying to find it, go to our website at www.theround1podcast.com, and there's a little bar that says shop now, and that's how I always open up our
Yeah.
website, our merch store anyways. But definitely go there, at least go check it out. There's no harm in looking at stuff. Window shopping is free.
So we have shirts, jackets.
Shirts, jackets,
Stickers,
and a mug.
long sleeve shirts,
And-
and,
yeah,
a,
long
and a mug,
sleeves.
and a mug.
But like when the Christmas thing comes around, December 1st through December 31st is when you can buy it. That's the
Yep.
only time you're gonna be able to buy it. So get yours in December.
And if we do release our Christmas sweater one, it will be December.
Yeah.
only.
But I have a list of which ones we're gonna get rid of. So we're gonna get rid of the Ogreific merch, the Tender merch, which is the Burger King one,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's really the only ones we are actually getting rid of because the other ones are saved for season 2. So like the Round 1 Beast, which is a cool logo by the way.
Is that the what's it called?
That,
the
the
dragon
dragon
one,
one. Pokemon. We have Friends. We have Star Wars.
Stranger
Oh, I love
Things.
the Friends ones
The
so
Stranger
much.
Things one. We have Back to the Future. So you guys,
And we have millions of other ideas for season 2. So if you want to
Yeah.
hold off, I mean, you can. But I definitely try and get at least one thing from this
Yeah.
season.
Send us some ideas if you have any.
Yes, please do.
if
can
you have
contact us
any of
through
them,
email,
Star Trek, any of them, horror movies in general, Friday the 13th logo, that'd be
which
cool.
we have been trying to
We're
design.
trying
lately.
to design a horror movie logo, which we're gonna keep up. I'm not taking that down. That's gonna be a cool thing. That's gonna stay up permanently. Which we
But-
have a list of what we're gonna keep up. And
Yeah,
keep up.
so make sure you guys go check out the merch store. Next thing,
Link
we
down
are
below.
close to 50 people on Facebook, which is where we all dye our hair, whatever you want, minus some companies, some
No,
unwanted
I'm not.
people. It's, look, we agreed to it for those of us who did, and we're gonna go all out. We're gonna keep our word. If like our parents or something holds us back, then that's completely different. But me, Miles, and Dylan are pretty much okayed for the idea.
Yeah.
So make sure you go shout it out to all your friends and everything. Just get it out there. And it's only 50. We're at 41 right now, I believe.
Yeah, we're at 40 something right now, dude.
And that's 10 people away. And you have 2 weeks to do it. 2 weeks. So please make sure
Not
you go
even-
do that.
Dude, they have. We used to give them until the end of season.
Oh,
So they
yeah,
have
that's
4.
true.
No, 3 to 4. I'm scared.
I'm
I
terrified.
look like a stay-at-home mom.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
But anyways, so we got the merch talked about. The next, we've also been talking about it. We haven't gotten too in depth in a conversation about it yet. We are gonna try and work on an awards thing for the final
Yeah.
season and
Yeah,
like a
well, not this
recap.
season, but it's gonna be season 2,
Mhm.
so we can do best host, best all of that. So
Yeah.
we have 2 seasons to do it for.
And since we're not allowed to vote, you guys should. Or
Yeah,
you guys
we'll make
are
a poll
allowed
for
to.
it next season when all that
Yeah.
happens. But I know for sure this season we want to do like a podcast, like a memoriam podcast, where it's like our favorite
Yeah.
moments, favorite episodes, favorite
Yeah.
guests, and all of that. So we still have these ideas to talk about, and we're gonna just try it. Next week we're gonna. I like the idea of movies, and like we really just had a horror theme, and it took up probably longer than an
Yeah.
hour.
Oh yeah,
But-
easily.
And so we're gonna try and do like a horror theme for next episode or so. Maybe.
I wouldn't say this is the horror themed one.
Yeah.
So like horror. Next one's gonna be sci-fi.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like we'll keep doing movies until the end of the season because
We're
the last
very
episode
low
of
on
this-
ideas.
the last episode of the season is gonna be the grand one, the
Yep.
grand, huge one. And I know we shouldn't talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. We're getting a new set
Yep.
in season 2
This
because
is all going away. We're gonna burn it.
let's be honest, us 5 are very cramped right now. It's very difficult for us to just
Especially
sit
when we
here.
do set
Yeah.
props like this. But I like the set prop idea, and I
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah, I
we can
think
try
it's
and do
really
it. Like
good.
next week with sci-fi, I hope we can try and get something like this.
I'll bring a
again.
lightsaber.
I can bring a lightsaber.
I can bring a Star Wars X-wing pilot helmet.
I can bring a Doctor Who. I can bring a bunch of Doctor
You're gonna
Who
bring
stuff.
some.
I can bring a bunch of pop heads.
But anyways, so I think that's pretty much
It's
it
just
that we
pop
need to talk
candy.
about.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Do you want me to do it, or
You can do
guys
it.
want to? You want to?
I don't
Do you want
care.
to?
You introduced
Do
it.
you want to?
Yeah,
Do
you
want to?
introduction there.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching the Round One podcast. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. Like, just watching us is like our motivation. And as
Yeah.
I've said before, like me, I used to be a streamer, and Miles would be like the only one who would watch, and that just kept me motivated. So even the smallest amount, you watch like one. Don't even
Don't
get all
even.
the
No, I've watched more than one. All right.
I've watched
But
all of them
anyways-
almost all the way through.
But anyways, it's that small number that really just keeps us, it keeps our motivation high, and
Yeah.
it keeps us like happy, because like at least someone's out there, you know. But thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. We really hope you enjoy it, and we really hope you guys are out there sharing it around school or
Yeah.
sharing it with your family. Just get it out there, because I mean, everyone starts small, and honestly, I think we've gotten off to a grand start. But thank you guys so much.
Easily.
Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. We really hope you enjoy it, and I'm very repetitive with outro stuff, but
Yeah, but one more thing before we leave.
2 more.
Oh, well, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. So it's only one more.
Okay. So, also, don't be afraid to send us fan mail.
yes.
Don't be afraid to send us anything. Like, if you have something that you really like, do
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm not the greatest graphic artist, but I do what I can, and you guys seen that through the merch and through all the other stuff. And hopefully, if I can remember before the end of the episode, I probably won't, but I'll probably post it on Instagram. But as he said, this has been a great episode for us, honestly, because it's one of the things that we
Probably
like a
our
lot of
longest
us.
episode, maybe.
Honestly, it probably is.
Because if we started around,
An hour, 10 minutes.
hour 10.
Weirdly enough, our longest one is hour 15.
Yeah, but,
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's
stalled
really
for 5 more
gonna
minutes.
sum it up for this episode,
Yeah.
and make sure you guys check in next week. I think, what are we doing for next week?
Hopefully,
I have
sci-fi themed.
I have a prophecy.
Well, I mean, like,
Oh.
we'll talk about all this stuff otherwise.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. I love you.
But what are we